Hey folks, it's Lindsay Hustle with SPS back in the building. I'm over at Wayne State University, Adams Field for the Courageous Tournament. It's been great. I'm here with Cass Tech first year track and field head coach, Miss Ravyen Baxter. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You almost did a little pirouette right there real quick, huh? Coach, we had some time to talk offline, but the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network is supporting SPS to address issues of mental health. There's some great resources available, but it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk to Cass Tech and all that. You're a Cass Tech alum.
Yes.
And also involved, but what is it like coaching track and field for these young ladies right now?
Coaching track and field for these girls right now have been one of the best experiences that I've ever experienced. One, to give back to my alma mater, and also to give back to the sport that grew me to be the woman that I am today, and teach me my 3 fundamentals, 1 to 2 fundamentals, one being just confidence in itself. If I didn't have track and field to help build that for me, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I want to also establish that throughout my coaching, with my new coaches and also my athletes.
Wow, I mean, what a great segue when you talk about confidence, particularly in young men and more specifically for young women. How important is it for young ladies to have confidence as we deal with some of the mental health issues that are out here?
I believe that having confidence is going to be top 1 on the list, because if you don't have confidence, you have nothing. One thing that I do try to stress to my girls oftentimes is that if you're not there mentally, I can't expect for you to be there physically or emotionally or anything like that. So your mental health is going to be at the top of the list. Typically, when you're out here with track and field, I've always been told that track and field is 90% mental and 10% physical. Physically, you got it, but if you can't convince yourself to do what you need to do out there and trust yourself, trust your training, that 90% could easily deplete, and you'll go out there and do whatever and miss out on an opportunity to showcase what you're supposed to be as an athlete and as a person on the track.
Yeah, you know, something that's happening in your personal life as it relates to your work in your nonprofit world with the Sweet Foundation.
Yeah.
There really was a mental health component, but we probably didn't address it as that then, referring to Mr. Sweet basically committing suicide, if I have the facts correctly, after he had some challenging issues as it relates to race relations in the city. But talk about, then when something tragic like that can happen and how there was no discussion, and even in the past years to now, it's like at the forefront. How do you kind of reconcile that now?
Yeah, so right now, just looking at the Dr. Ocean Sweet story, how it tragically ended in suicide, there was a lot of components in his life. He lost his wife, he lost his daughter, and he probably didn't have that support that was needed at that time. You feel lonely when you lose the 2 closest people in your life. So what that can look like right now with our 15 and 16 to 17 and 18 year olds is we need our adults and we need our teammates to be able to keep us motivated, listen. We need ears. We need to have those conversations and the availability. Like, we have to make ourselves available as coaches and athletes, spectators as well. That's our moms and dads, to be available for these kids on a day-to-day basis. Just stressing to them, talk when you need it. Just open your mouth and talk. Just let me know.
That's great. You mentioned a lot of stakeholders in sports. You mentioned coaches, parents, but the spectators. And whether it's the spectator that is on social media or at an event, what kind of role do they play as it relates to those issues end up happening?
They play a huge role, especially since we are in a social media world now. Social media is probably top 1 for social networking. A lot of our conversations can be lost face to face, but if you see a lot of negative talk on the internet, or you can also see positive talk on the internet, it can be a mental break for a lot of these kids, especially with adults too. You can have spectators saying like, oh, she did terrible today, or and you could have went out there and said, I did my best today, and that could snap a person really quick, because the negative, when we hear something negative, it can have a deeper impact on our kids and ourselves, even if we have that positive self-talk.
Yeah, amazing. Any last words or anyone you want to give a special shout out to after this great interview?
Yeah, so I do want to give a special shout out to my original coach, Coach Wright, that brought me to be who I am today, along with a shout out to my parents and also my athletes and parents as well. I'm currently pregnant right now, and my girls have been taking care of me, along with my family and my friends. So everybody has shown the way to be able to do their part. And I just want to thank every last one of them to being supportive and being who they are and just shining their light every time we step on the track.
Shout out to little baby on the way too.
I know, right?
All right. Thanks so much. You did a great job. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Yes, thank you.